All right, looks like I'm live. How's it going, guys? Happy Thursday. Almost said happy Friday, but it's Thursday, and it's a happy Thursday, right? Because I have some of my famous fresh brewed, reused bottle lawn mowing iced tea that has the custom cup holder lines in it. So that's how you know this is an authentic 2A EDU stream. All right, let's see who's in here. I'm going to say hi to you guys real quick. And as the title of the stream says, we have a very special guest who happens to be one of my favorite channels that's going to be joining us in, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes from now. So I'll say hi and see who's all in here tonight. The chat started a little early, so I might miss some of you, but I'm going to start from the top. We've got Liberty or Death. How's it going, man? Jeremy Wilson, what's up? We got David Harris, Justin Gregory, the Reptile Guys. Mateo, thank you as always. We've got JDV3. Matt Morrison, what's good, man? We've got Susan Wiki. Hey, Susan, did you get those roses yet? I just sent Susan a couple dozen roses just to make sure she put her blessings. So hopefully everything's coming in clear tonight because I sent Susan a blessing, a gift. JDV3, what's up? Hey, Dubs, how's it going? We got Justin Gregory. We've got Fluffy 10mm Jeep guy. Let's see here. We've got Chuck R. What's happening? We got M. Garcia, David P. Chuck's coming up to Michigan. Cool, man. I'm in Michigan as we speak. Just got done working. As always, I'm always done working, guys. I always get off the lawnmower or put down the shovel or whatever I'm doing that day and jump on here at the last minute. Friday night, a couple of you guys are asking. I'll probably come on again tomorrow night. It might be just like an hour stream or so since we're going to do around an hour or so tonight. So there you go. I definitely want to do the Friday stream for at least a little bit. Daniel DeLeon, what's happening, man? Matt Parker, how's it going? We got Denny's Plant-Based Journey. Welcome. Petrox 6333, what's up? M.I. Crafter. We've got Rod Brown in the house. What's up, man? Joe Bob. You guys are playing some kind of color game? All right. Rockford Ordinance. What's happening, Rockford? Are you taking care of Susan for us? Help me on the Susan patrol there, Rockford, if you could. And the thing just skipped on me here. Let's see. We've got Frames in Motion. What's happening? Gemini Cloud. We've got Mike Milhone, Longbowman 89. We've got Robert, Lando Wilson. What's happening, Lando? How you doing, man? Chris Plummer, we got Paul Gonzi, Trey Orr. Jeez, there's some good old guys in here. Good old boys and girls in the chat tonight, as usual. We've got Jeffrey, we've got John, we've got Mike. Says Mike Dupree says, carry a gun because I can't run. Absolutely, man. And I often say I carry a gun because carrying a cop is just too heavy, right? And when seconds matter, cops are only minutes away, even if they're on top of it, right? We've got Joseph Tenfingers. What's up? We've got Silver Fox 84. We've got Jeffrey Alhers. We've got Vidya Puritana from Tennessee. Rudy Finney, what's happening, man, with the super chat? Thanks so much, dude. I appreciate it. More than you even know. Just so you guys know, behind the scenes, I've got some shooting videos that I want to upload soon. And it's more fun to take the little bit of money I get from you guys' generous donations and the little bit of pennies that Susan gives me with ad revenue, Amazon link. It all goes back into the channel, right? Well, you've heard a million YouTubers say this. Buying guns and ammo for the channel is just more fun. And it's my most expensive hobby. But I didn't invest in enough backup hard drives. And my one hard drive that has all the data on it, yeah, it crashed on me last night. So I had to reformat it, quick format. I'm using a special recovery software that's going to take 3 days to try to recover, and it's looks like it's finding some files. But man, oh man, I got to spend some money on some more hard drives right away. So I really do appreciate it. And here's the thing, guys. I do landscaping nowadays, but I have a long background in IT, managing servers, computer information systems. Like, I know better, right? But when it's just like your little YouTube channel and it's just your files, and you're like, okay, do I buy another hard drive? Because they fill up quick, right? When you're filming in HD. It's like, no. I'll buy this other gun instead because that'll be more fun. And I did a little bit too much of that and slacked on the hard drives. So any of you guys, learn from me. If you're having trouble, and you have to decide another gun or a hard drive and you're a YouTuber, buy the hard drive, even though it's not as much fun. I kind of been bumming out and freaking out for the last 24 hours. I'm just trying to laugh at it at this point. Rockford Ordnance is a team player. Yes, sir. Thank you. We've got Aldo in the house. We got Albert Kent. What's happening, man? Good to see you as always. IROC SS85. We've got Douglas Parker. Kathleen Music Lover. What's up, Kathleen? Joe Morgan finally finished his DPMS, turned Oracle AR-15 into an A2. Cool, cool. Did you get one of those CDNN kits? I know they were kind of clearancing out the DPMS stuff because they basically are kind of going under along with the whole Freedom Group thing and Remington and all that. So, yeah. Where can you buy ammo? Well, right this second, I'm not sure. I've been out working all day, but I have been trying to notify you guys as much as possible. Federal's been a good place to go to, guys. Not the best price. Basically, here's the deal with Federal. They're charging retail, right? That's what they're doing. Believe it or not, even though we were buying 9mm, let's just say for reference, we were buying it as little as $8.50 a box. I just talked about that in a video not too long ago for brass. This was $8.50, March 13th of 2020. This was $6.39 for the steel case. But keep in mind, retail is always usually about double what you're able to get it for at a blowout online price, or even if your local gun shop's selling it to you at a good deal. So I think what's happening is this. Federal's still selling it. They haven't raised their price. I think it's the same price as they've always charged, right? They're just charging you retail. So it seems like if you go on there every other day, here's a general advice for you guys. Wherever you're going, go really late at night, depending on the time zone, or real early in the morning if you're like on the East Coast of the U.S. That's usually when they put their stock back up. And I'm finding $18, $19 a box pretty steadily for 9mm plinking rounds on Federal. So hopefully that helps you. I've done a video where AIM Surplus got some stuff in that I thought was a fair deal. And I picked up some 300 blackout, some 7.62x39, and some 45. So, yeah. Seven Wonders. Hey, how's it going, man? He said, holy crap, you missed my compliment. Well, people get me distracted, and it does say ammo shortage, and we're going to talk about that. I'll talk about it. I'm going to talk about it with my guests in a little bit here just because I want to get someone else's perspective on it, especially from someone who I respect. So, yeah. Is the stream coming in good, guys? I know I asked you, but I probably skipped over. Oh, Seven Wonders says, oh, for laughing silently. You are live streaming too. I'll probably be in and out. Love you, bro. All right, man. Take it easy. He must be streaming right now too. See, Thursday isn't my normal night, but I wanted to, get a special guest in here and just, get some of his opinions on some stuff because he has a lot to offer and he has a little bit different perspective than I do. And I think that's what's going to be cool about it. Because there's some people in here. Thanks, guys, for letting me know. It looks like it's coming in good. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback. So basically, there's guys like me out there that's been into guns since, 94. For those of you who haven't heard me tell the story. I bought my first firearm. It was an SKS. It was back when they were worth about $100 from China, Chinese SKS, right? Norinco. And it was a friend of mine, a longtime friend of the family, and they were selling it. And basically back then, they came surplus with the wood stock, and they used to have those like fiberglass reinforced Monte Carlo hunting stocks with a nice, hunting padded butt pad, on the stock and everything. And the stock was like $130, and it still came with the original wood. And he said, let me tell you what, man, I'm kind of tight for money. I just paid $130 for this stock from Cabela's like a month ago. If you'll just pay me back for the stock, you'll get the stock and the whole gun, right? And there was some ammo that went with it. So that's basically how I got into guns. A Chinese Norinco SKS. I still have it today with a nice, Monte Carlo stock. And it still has the original wood that I can put on there too. And I just kind of kept it in that stock all these years just because of memories, That's kind of how I recognized the gun, how I looked at it for all these years. I bought many more SKSs and surplus rifles since. And that's kind of my passion, mil-serps, history, stuff like that. And there's been many more, but there's only one first one, and I'm really glad that I still kept that rifle. There was a couple times, when I was in my 20s, money was tight, and I thought about selling it, but I'm really glad I didn't because I would have never been able to get that one again. Timothy Blaze, what's happening, man? He said, thanks again for the ammo. Did you go back and get that other box that I sent up there? He says, much love to you and your family. Same thing, dude. We need to get together sometime. We're practically neighbors and just randomly met here on YouTube. That's pretty cool, guys. Literally, me and this dude are practically neighbors. We're like, what, less than 5 miles away, and I met him here on YouTube, and he needed a little ammo, so I said, hey, go up to Supermatch G&A, which is the local gun shop that I totally love, and send him a couple boxes. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's see who else is in here tonight. Who's causing trouble in here? Nita Villar, Forged and Woodcraft. What's happening, man? We've got Mill Burry. What's up? We got Michigan Watch. All right, how many Michigan people do I have in here? Are the Michigan people outnumbering the other ones? I mean, I'm fully accepting of all of these 50 states, okay? Territories, even other countries. Shout out to the European watchers and such, you know? Philippines, by the way. The people that watch from the Philippines, those are really nice people. But with all that said, you guys are nice and all, but not so much, because the Michigan guys are still, guys and girls, are still kind of my favorites. All right, cool. Fluffy's from Michigan. All right. Now, look, we're not going to try to run everyone else out necessarily, but we just need to let them know, you know. We need to represent Michigan because we're living under Gretchen, and we're gonna kick her out, aren't we, guys? There's petitions to remove her. There's petitions to remove some of the unconstitutional laws that she's following, so we're going to get rid of her. That's why I want as many Michigan guys in here as possible so we can all just stick together, and Gretchen needs to go. We don't need a tyrant governor in Michigan, and we're not going to have it. 7 Wonders is comfortable with all my stockpiles. Nice. Other than 357 mag. I'm going to be doing some 38 special shooting soon, and I kind of looked through, and I've got some. Thanks to my friend Pillbox Bunker. I don't know if he's in here right now, but I gave him some 9 a while back because I had some extra 9, and I was just giving it to him as a friend, you know, when I was over at his awesome range in his backyard doing some shooting. And he said, well, here you go, man. Take a couple boxes of this 38 special because he doesn't shoot that. So I've got a couple boxes from him right here. Kathleen says my governor's as bad as her governor. Yeah. And speaking of footage, I'll tell you guys something really exciting. Yesterday I went out there, right? If you look at my B channel, Patriot EDU, right? I had a guest on there. I had just met her at the Michigan rally. She was talking about her work situation. Her name was Gabrielle. And I said, hey, look, we might actually go out and do some shooting, and I'll bring her on over to this channel as a guest too. Well, let me tell you what. We went out yesterday. It was so much fun. She's not like 100% noob, but she was like pretty noob, right? Like she had just shot like a 22, just taking the CPL class. Oh, man, I took out a pistol that I don't know if I should spill the beans on it yet, but I'll show you guys the mag because I've done the unboxing review, but I've not posted it yet. So here's a teaser. A Taurus pistol that takes this mag. We did the first shots with that. She shot the G3C, the G3, the G2C, Smith & Wesson M&P Shield. She brought her friend with her named Olivia. She's totally cool too. So I had a couple newer-ish, newbie type, you know, chick shooters that have a lot to learn. And I did my whole 2A EDU thing. We sat down and talked about gun safety, you know, making sure they knew how to load the magazine, pull the slide back all the way. They were wanting to do some of the things everyone does when they get a gun, like not pull the slide back hard enough, just little things like that, wanting to hold it a little weird. But let me tell you what, those chicks could shoot. And it wasn't very long at all, and they were hitting right there in the center of the plate, really nice. So I'm definitely going to be editing that footage together and get some cool, you know, kind of teaching people to shoot / getting them used to pistols. And that's what I really recommend that you guys do. You know, there's people in your area. If you can't get with them personally, face-to-face, to do some of the stuff I'm doing, maybe that's where these videos will come into play. You can share them with friends of yours that are just thinking about, you know, how do I approach this? Like, how do I hold this stupid thing? Look, all of us were there at one time, okay? When I first grabbed my first pistol, which I bought in 2000, just as I turned 21, it was a 1999 anniversary edition Ruger Mark II 22 pistol. I didn't really know how to hold it properly. Like I kind of did, but hey, we're all new at one point. So maybe some of you guys are a little newer today and those videos will help you. And if not, maybe there's friends you can pass them along to. But there's a lot of good people that are finally realizing it. I know they should have realized it a long time ago. I get it. We can razz them a little bit, but at the same time, hey, it's better late than never. They're finally realizing that it's now time for them to protect themselves, protect their own families. And these are good people. Because, see, criminals have always had guns. They don't follow laws, okay? Because good people generally don't need laws, and criminals don't follow laws. So let's face it, they're always going to have them. But there's a whole new wave of people right now, the good ones, the ones that we would want as neighbors, that we enjoy having as friends, that are now purchasing their first firearms. And, yeah, you'll see in the videos, there's just something about someone that shot a 9mm for the first time. They shoot it, they're hitting a steel target, they hear the noise. Whoa, that was powerful is the first thing she said. And then she's like, awesome, just like super smile. You guys will see. I've got some good video footage. Mark Corby with the super chat. Thanks, man, from Troy, Michigan. I appreciate it, dude. A-Dubs is saying, so she was no Kyle is what you're saying. She's definitely no Kyle. Come on, man. Susan Wiki in the house. Jeez, oh, Pete. Whew. You're going to be intimidating my guest that's coming on. He has a personal relationship with Susan also. Some weird stuff happened on one of his streams. I'll let him share that with you guys in a few minutes when he comes to join us. But make sure you stick around, Susan. Heck, it cost me enough money for those roses to get her in here. She better stay for a little bit. Jeez, oh, Pete. Seven Wonders, thanks, man. He said, I'm liking your new channel, promoting it when I see a chance. And for those of you guys that don't know about it, it's called Patriot EDU. It's easy to find. Just go to the main channel, however you do that on your phone, your device, whatever, and you'll see I have it on the top of my recommended channels. Now, look, guys, I'm not trying to do this for any type of purposes other than I need to get to 1,000 subs on there. So if you guys can help me out, and here's the only reason why. I like to go to these live events. Like there's a rally coming in Lansing, Michigan here in just over 2 weeks. And I want to do some live streaming with you guys from that channel, because I might be at a rally that's not necessarily gun related, but it's Patriot related, you know, and stuff that you guys are into. And good old Susan now has it restricted where you have to have 1,000 subscribers before you can stream from your cell phone. So if you guys know anyone that might like that channel, or if you might like it yourself, just, you know, go over there and maybe just show it a little love and support just so I can stream. That's literally my only ulterior motive. I'm not trying to get famous. I learned a long time ago I'm not going to get famous doing this, but I do have a lot of fun. So that's what makes it worth it. Cool, man. Cool, Tim. Tim Blaze. I appreciate it, man. Let's see here. Yeah, you've been working 13 hours a day. I hear you, dude. I work a lot too. People ask me sometimes, and it's hilarious. They say, why are you always wearing the same shirts? Well, it's not the same shirt, guys. There's probably up to about 14 gray ones, about 6 baby blue, and a couple royal blue, but they're all the same style shirt. And these are awesome if you guys work in the sun. They're the Hanes UPF 50. So it provides sunscreen protection of a 50 SPF sunscreen without the greasiness and oiliness. Because if you cut grass or work outside, you know what I mean. You put on the sunscreen, the dirt hits it, and you just get like caked up with mud and dirt, and it's nasty. So this is kind of in lieu of the sunscreen, right? Just a little bit on the face and nose. And it's also like dry, so it wicks away the moisture, cool dry. So yeah, when you guys see me wearing this crap, it's because I'm literally always coming or going from work. And that's what it's like, just owning a small business and working all the time. Seven Wonders with the super chat. Thanks a lot, dude. Kyle in Kenosha shot 3 felons in self-defense. He did us a favor, free Kyle. You know what, guys? I always believe in people should have their day in court. But you know what? I've seen enough now, different B angles of the footage, different pictures. Mark Dice, for example, I was looking at his Twitter. He was tweeting a bunch of different angles right on there. Looks like it was pretty much self-defense to me, guys. Again, I'm loath to say that I've got it all figured out, because I do believe in a justice system where all evidence can be put forth and we have a jury of our peers, and that's kind of like what's enshrined in our founding documents. But if I'm just going to opine as another talking head on YouTube, yeah, looked pretty clean to me, to be honest with you. It looked like he was actually doing the right thing. Seven Wonders knows what I'm talking about with the shirts. Heck yeah. Trey Orr, I have no idea, man. I haven't stepped on a scale lately, but we'll see. I'll get back to you tomorrow on that one. Joe Morgan has a dozen black shirts with pockets, no grease stains. Yeah, I go with the light gray. Some have grease stains, some don't. This particular one doesn't, right? But it's kind of a fine line. I don't want the white shirt because it's going to make it where it just shows every bit of dirt. But I don't want the black shirt because it just sucks in too much heat. So I kind of go with the gray and baby blue. See, you guys are getting like healthcare tips on this channel. You're getting clothing tips. I mean, really, you guys are lucky, actually. I'm definitely hooking you guys up. Yeah, Kyle's a hero. And when I said to A-Dubs earlier, she definitely know Kyle, I just meant like they might not shoot as good as Kyle, but they're a little cuter than Kyle. You know what I'm saying, right, A-Dubs? I thought he meant like, you know, physically. I'm like, nah. But hey, Kyle's not a bad-looking dude himself, you know. He's a handsome dude. No, I think it looks like to me he did a good job, guys. It really does. Brastard's in the house. What's happening, man? A Daewoo DP51 at 16. Nice. I actually have the Lionheart version of that, the LH9. I almost kind of forgot about that gun to do a video on. Is that something I should do a video on? Let me know, guys. The Lionheart LH9, which is basically a reiteration of the Daewoo Korean, South Korean DP51. Carson Black. No, not yet. Probably in a few minutes here if I had to guess. Kirk likes the baby blue. Yeah, I need to stock up on more of the baby blue shirts because I'm kind of a little bit biased on the gray ones, but they're pretty nice. Cornstarch. Jeez, oh, Pete. Cave Dave, what's happening, man? He says, if someone ever points a 9mm in my face, I'm sorry for him. Yeah, and that looks like what happened to me. See, the news, the fake news, right? Susan doesn't like it when I say fake news, but the fake news, that's what many people most unfortunately watch. I don't know if I should say most, actually. Many people are actually watching YouTube and getting their news from more independent people. So there's a little bit of a ray of light there, right? But let's just say the traditional fake news. They just show you part of it. They just show you the one half where he's out there just like in the street like a boss. Plat, 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 plat. Well, then later on I see through independent media, I see close-up pictures where you can see that the one man, you know, had the pistol in his hand and was still actually holding on to it as his arm was half blown off. So when you start seeing stuff like that, it's like, well, hold on a minute. He had the pistol already drawn in his hand, probably pointing it at him, it looks like. So there's a lot more to it. You literally have to sit there and look at all the camera angles. And yeah, Carson Black says fake news. You mean the news? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's the news, the fake news. There's some news channels, though, on YouTube that I think are doing a pretty darn good job of it, to be honest with you. And that's what I like about it. And I put his link to his channel down in the description, guys, the Matt Christiansen channel. I really like it. He does a standalone video once a week. He also does a collab with his co-host, Blonde. And then he does his Beauty and the Beta on Sunday evenings. And it's a news show is what it really is. And he reports on the news. And he will actually stop to show the different camera angles. He will actually give you, in my opinion, the complete side of the story. And he'll even do the hoax hate segment where he's calling out people that are doing fake hoaxes on themselves. So there's channels just like his and many others on YouTube that I would actually put them in as news. So you know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's the fake news, which is kind of on its way out. And it appears that there is still some hope. And I'm going to add him to the stream right now. Let me click this. And it looks like you're here. Are you there, Matt?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Everything good on my end?
So, as you guys saw in the title, I'd like to welcome from his mom's basement, Matt Christiansen.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, dude. How's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. You know, it's perfect that you just came on here because we were talking about the news, and I said, well, if you look at this gentleman in Kenosha, the news, the fake news, was immediately saying, oh, there's this crazy gunman and blah, blah, blah. And then I said, well, once you start looking at other news sources and the tweets, you can start seeing all of the different angles and everything, right?
Yeah.
And the guy said, well, when you say the news, you mean you fake news, you mean the news. And I said, no, we've actually got some pretty good YouTube channels that, in my opinion, do real news. And that's where your Sunday show comes into play. So I was just giving you props on that.
Oh, well, thanks. That's that's probably too high of praise. But yeah, it says something that, like, seriously speaking, there are a lot of basically bedroom operations on YouTube in whom I place a lot more trust than the fancy professional studios. So that for sure is true. But we're entering an interesting time where all of these cases, like the Kyle Rittenhouse case in Kenosha, and all these high profile cases, you don't need a third party description of it. You don't read about it in the newspapers. You can watch almost all of the event happen because everyone has a cell phone and the whole thing is recorded. So we're getting this bizarre occurrence where it's being described in ways that are contrary to the video you can watch yourself, or omit key pieces of information that, again, you can just see yourself if you take the time to watch the 2 minutes of footage that's out there.
Yeah, and when you see it with your own eyes, it's like it's either a lie or it just ain't the truth. Like, innocent man in the street, gun down, had bicep blown off. Then I was looking at Mark Dice. He's in my Twitter feed. He had all the close-ups where you see the 9mm in this innocent, peaceful protester's hand. And no doubt, the opposite person would have got shot if that kid wouldn't have reacted when he
guy
did.
Who was a felon, by the way, should not have been carrying at all, but was. That all the information that's coming out is going one way. It turns out they were all criminals, actually, including Kyle Rittenhouse himself. He had some minor charges against him, but that doesn't really change much. But I'm supposed to believe that all of these criminals, including the first guy shot, was a convicted sex offender against a minor. The other guys had criminal charges, serious criminal charges, shouldn't have been armed at all, at least according to the law. And we're still supposed to believe that they were all peaceful, and it was Kyle Rittenhouse who was the white nationalist guy who went there to kill people or something like that. That's what we're supposed to believe. It is amazing. And I don't know if you saw, just like within the last, hour or so, they've come out with a whole list of new charges. He's facing 6 charges now, including 2 murder counts. So
did not know that. I just got off my lawnmower. I do landscape.
It was just announced, like just within the last hour or two. So there's also a weapons charge on there, which was a little more predictable. But so they're going to try to throw the book at him. And now the same lawyer who represented Nick Sandman is hopping in to help him out. So I don't know if that lawyer's going to actually represent him, but he is at least helping the kid.
Yes, and I think he's the same one that Sean Hannity has, if it's that high-profile defamation lawyer.
Lynn Wood is his name. I don't know if he works with Hannity, but that's his name.
Yeah, he does. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I was listening to Hannity just a few minutes ago on the lawnmower. So yeah, Lynn Wood, one of the best there is. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you know what? This is a perfect segue, actually, kind of why I wanted you to come on here tonight, because I was explaining to the guys, I bought my first gun 1994, Chinese SKS, $100, right?
Yeah.
So I've been a gun guy like kind of forever. I was, I'm 41 now, got into it when I was 15, right? Mm-hmm. So to me, it's kind of all I've known. But nowadays, I'm noticing so many people coming into the channel and they're like, never been a gun owner, always thought I could just call the police.
Yeah.
But in the day of police, stand down, don't protect, don't serve, mayor's orders, council's orders, right? It seems like things are starting to change. And let me say this real quick about you that I know of, and correct anything. I was listening to a TGC News podcast about a year ago. I was blowing leaves listening to it, and this guy named Matt Christiansen came on, and John Patton was interviewing you, and I didn't know who you were at that point.
Oh, interesting.
And you guys were talking, and I've been following him for years since he was called On with Chaos, right?
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he is. And we were listening, and he had you on there. And you were like, well, you know what? I haven't always been a conservative. I used to kind of be on the other side. So I was hoping you could offer something, another perspective that's different than mine. What's happening right now, in your opinion, in people's minds, where they're going from let's pass gun control to no, we don't need gun control and we're responsible for our own safety?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I offer a different perspective anymore, but I can tell you, yes, like a matter of maybe 4 or 5 years ago, maybe even inside of that, I was one of them. I was one of the common sensors. And I've never been anti-gun per se. Like, my family has had guns. I've had guns in and around me, and shoot them and stuff. But I'd never been like a concealed carry person. I never bought my own guns. I just kind of shoot other people's guns for fun. For me, it was not, obviously it's not what's going on now that flipped all of that. It was actually the big thing that started my movement into getting serious about self-defense was Parkland. And I'd kind of dabbled before that, and my views on guns were shifting before that already. But when Parkland happened, and it was all these snot-nosed kids like David Hogg insisting that everyone's rights be taken away because some lunatic went and shot up a school and law enforcement abdicated its duty, that was the time where I thought, I'm not trusting these people with my safety. I'm going to go out and get some stuff. I'm going to take this more seriously. I'm going to get a concealed carry permit. I'm going to do all of that. Mm-hmm. So that was it for me. But I think for me, more than anything, it wasn't necessarily the specific incident. I think it's just part of growing up too, where you realize, I'll call the cops if I can. Obviously, I want to trust law enforcement, and I do, and I'll call them. Yep. But and I live in kind of like a stereotypical sort of suburban environment. Even here, the cops are not instantaneous. If someone shows up with the intent to do me harm, I can call the cops when they're banging on my door. The cops can't be here in a moment's notice. So really, you are your own first and last line of defense. And as much as I trust and appreciate law enforcement, they're not magicians. They can't teleport here. There will be a time where you have to defend yourself if someone shows up with intent to do you harm, whether it's at your home or whether it's out in public. So I don't know if it was a specific event for me or just part of growing up and having something to defend. And I was kind of a naive kid. Like, I live in a trashy apartment and my idiot roommates, and we don't really have much to protect anyway. So who cares? You get a little older and it's like, well, there are bad people out there who want your stuff or want, to take you out or whatever they want to do. And so that was kind of the process for me. And I think the common sense gun control stuff sells so well to people who don't understand A, guns, and B, the law. And I was one of those people, because you think, ooh, guns are scary. Guns can kill people. We got to make sure that nobody who's a bad guy has a gun, which, that's fine. But the reality is we already have tons of laws on the books to make sure that's not going to happen. Thousands, in fact. And there's only so much that those can do. And then the other reality of it is too, like, just understanding how they work, how they operate, and the reality of, say, just take your AR-15, for example. That technology is out there. You can't erase it. It's very simple to put together once you know how to do it. So criminals with intent to do harm, anybody is going to be able to assemble one of these things if they want to. You can't erase that knowledge any more than you could erase the technology that is the car. You could ban that. People still know how to put cars together. So just learning more about the facts of the matter really changed perspective for me too.
And you know what's crazy about what you just said, speaking of technology? So let's go down to the crudest level. We've got hands and we have feet. Except for the guy that messed with Kyle. He doesn't necessarily. But,
the memes are fantastic right now. Yeah.
Okay, you and I have hands and feet. Most of us do. Okay. So anyways, more people with FBI annual statistics are killed with hands and feet than what they call the assault rifle. Yeah. Which is what they're usually trying to ban with common sense. So that's where the statistics become quite ironic, right? Is that, the killiest of all of the guns, the AR-15, these kill maybe in a bad year dozens, but there's hundreds, if not thousands, of people killed with hands and feet every year. Yeah. And we're probably not going to be able to ban those unless we hire Kyle. Kyle's just becoming the new guy to like help our streams, as a good filler.
Well, it's I know we're not necessarily focusing on the politics of the matter on this stream, but I'm really fascinated with this case because yet again, we can all look at the same pretty definitive footage of exactly what happened and draw totally opposite conclusions. I'm amazed looking at like left-wing Twitter and seeing their claims about like, oh, he just should have surrendered himself to the mob or something like that. It's this sort of, I was watching like Sargon video breaking down a Vosh and Destiny debate earlier. And the reasoning that's being used would justify every lynching that ever happened. Like if the mob thinks that you did something wrong and they come after you with the intent to do you harm, you should surrender to the lynching. That it was basically the reasoning that was being expressed. And I don't know. Yet again, I look at something that we can all watch and see the same facts, come to totally opposite conclusions. because we don't necessarily share the same values anymore. It's very concerning.
Yeah, and what about is this? People don't get like some of these classic sayings, like what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Turnabout's fair play. So as much as we've worked, and I believe we've done a great job in this country, they said they were aspiring towards a more perfect union. They never said this country be perfect. But with that said, all of the race hate that probably really did happen in the South, and there really were lynchings, and in the North, and this stuff happened, right? And we've improved our society drastically, where nowadays we hang out with hundreds of people at a time on our streams. We don't even care what color each other are. No one I know even cares. So we've improved. And now we're going to want to digress back down to what looks like to me. You look at those old black and white photos where people in hoods were like chasing this, at that time, colored fella, they'd call him, down the street. Yeah. And now I'm seeing this right now in the year 2020. So is that kind of what you're talking about?
Well, I mean, just the hyper race focus is crazy. I can't remember a more race conscious time in my life. And yeah, it sucks. The whole thing sucks. I hate viewing everything through. You even see the headlines. Like I saw headlines about Kyle Rittenhouse that are like, Kyle Rittenhouse, 17-year-old white boy or white man, as though like I don't understand how race is even relevant to this case. He's a white kid who shot 3 other white guys. The only thing that has any racial implication, excuse me, is the nature of the protests themselves, which are related to an allegedly racist police shooting that all the facts say has actually no basis in race whatsoever.
I'm so glad it's not just me then, because this is driving me nuts. I literally, and this is not in an insensitive way, it's just I don't care. So I'm going to thank Carson Black. His last name's Black. He looks like he's white for the super chat. And I'm going to thank Humphrey Dog. Have no idea what color he is, also for the super chat. I appreciate it, guys. But no, it's like they pretend somehow that we don't. But here's what's crazy about it. So stereotypically, this is what the media would like people to think. Middle-aged, white male, NRA member, that's your gun owner, right? And I know there's people, all different creeds of colors, right here in this chat right now that own guns. So what have you noticed, like people you hang out with online? Is this just like middle-aged white men that want to own guns nowadays? Or what have you noticed?
Sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit. Let me clear it. But no, I mean, I don't know, because a lot of the people I interact with online, it's not necessarily virtually face-to-face like this. It's people emailing me and stuff. So I have no idea what their races are. But with a lot of people in my listening audience with whom I interact, there's never been a time in my time online where more people have been emailing interested in picking up their first gun or advice on guns or just questions on guns generally. And so I don't notice any. I mean, my audience skews male anyway. So for me, it's regardless of what we're talking about, it's mostly men in my audience. There are some women who inquire, but it's certainly mostly male. I have no idea what the racial breakdown is, and frankly, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, I'm not going to look at any email and think, well, if it's like a black guy, I want to discourage him from like exercising his rights or defending himself. No, of course not. Of course not. So. But yeah, like I was saying, man, it's crazy right now. I would say there's at least like a dozen people emailing me a week about gun question stuff, and that's pretty uncommon. That I didn't get that in past times.
And that's awesome, and that's why I wanted you to bring on here. This is a firearms channel mainly. Now I've been forced to on my Friday night stream. I stream every night, Friday, 9:30 Eastern. I have to mainly talk politics now because our friend Susan. And I'll tell you a quick story about her in a second. Susan made it where we can't touch guns in live streams anymore. So,
as in you can't physically show them, or you mean you can't talk about them?
I can talk about them, and I have an AK underfolder right behind me.
Ooh, those are cool. I'd love to have one.
Oh yeah.
Next
time you're in Michigan, let me know, dude. I've got like 20 of them. We'll go out and shoot.
Yeah.
But so I can't touch them anymore. It's a two-way EDU. So you can ask some of the old guys in the chat here. I used to sit there and actually do hands-on, like. I'm the professor and I'll teach you the history of this gun. I can't. So I've basically gone to politics on my live streams. So I talk political, and that's why I love your show, especially your Sunday show. You and Blonde are just awesome tandem, by the way.
Well, thanks for tuning in. It's it's the whole thing was excellent happenstance and hobby turned into something that's become quite a community now. So we're glad to keep it going.
Yes, and I've been using StreamYard a couple of times. I actually figured out how to use it to have you on. You're the beta tester for me, my first guest.
Oh, well,
I've had
thanks.
on here.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, thank you.
I haven't used the system, but it looks like it's working fine. So
It's working. And Susan messed with my resolution. This is serious. 2 weeks ago, I'm talking. I said, due to YouTube's stupid policies, and I can't touch guns. And then right around that time, 144p. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to fix this. So here's what I did right before this stream started, okay?
Sorry.
Right before.
Should have silenced my phone, my bad.
You're good, dude.
Speaking of technical issues.
That's all right. We got duct tape, right? So
I pride myself on a duct tape production, yeah.
I know you do. I watch your channel a lot, if you can't tell. But anyway, so right before the stream, I said, guys, I'm just 5 minutes late. I had to buy Susan 3 dozen white roses, the ones with the super, super big thorns.
Yeah.
Defensively thorns. Sent them to her, and there's no problems with the resolution. So next time she messes with you, man.
I have no idea. I mean, of course, if you're tuning into our streams, you've probably seen some of the technical oddities that can happen. And what's odd and strange is that it's totally differential treatment. Like as I've been talking about lately, all the clips that we show on our show, I post on it's just a dummy channel. It's just a placeholder channel. Theoretically, YouTube doesn't even know it's mine. They will ban clips off of that channel saying they violate community guidelines or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'll play the same clips on the stream totally fine. In fact, a human from YouTube will review it through the demonetization appeal, and that'll be fine. There's differential treatment for my main channel, which is like something established, versus my stupid dummy account channel that is just a placeholder, which tells me what? Again, it's the sort of like Susan has really put her boot on the throat of someone trying to start YouTube today. And as much as angry as I am to have my channel suppressed in the way that she does, for someone just trying to start out, man, it's almost impossible. And it really bothers me because the heyday of YouTube, it was more or less a pure meritocracy. You make quality content that people really enjoy and really engage with. Hey, man, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit for you. And now you could make the greatest video YouTube's ever seen, and Susan will put it into the ghost town and make sure nobody ever sees it in favor of MSNBC and CNN and Fox News.
And I've noticed the same thing too, and I always complain to the guys, and it's not a money issue. This is my most expensive hobby. This monetization is basically crumbs. But what happens is I'll have a video. It'll be a great video, and I'll be very careful not to use any of her keywords. I've kind of figured a lot of them out, you know.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, bam, like it'll go through the automated monetization process. It'll show a green $sign. And then like 3 days later, it's demonetized. Then I have to do a human review. Well, during those 3 days, 99% of the views are gone. But again, it's not about the money. They've downgraded it so far down in the algorithm.
Exactly.
That it gets nothing.
And that's what bums me out. It's like the person who's starting today, who has really something really interesting to say or a really cool new YouTube product to offer, used to be that merit, the statistics on engagement, views, likes, comments, that would drive it through the algorithm. So you could really catch that wave if you made something that was fantastic. Now, make the greatest video the world's ever seen. Doesn't matter. Susan says it doesn't count. Yep. And that's not YouTube. That's CNN tube. That's MSNBC tube. That's not just a betrayal to the creators that built YouTube. That's a betrayal to why people are on the website at all. People go to YouTube not to watch that kind of content. They want to see a real person. But you know,
I know, and I got her newsletter months ago where they said we're going to start promoting mainstream content. That's exactly what you just alluded to.
Yeah.
CNN and even Fox News, whatever. I might like Tucker Carlson. I've told my viewers that. I love his show. I watch it religiously, but I still don't want to watch that when I'm on YouTube. I want to watch Matt Christiansen. I want to watch Mark Dice. I want to watch Steven Crowder. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And just from the creator and audience perspective too, you can like CNN if you want. You can like Fox News if you want. Those are not the people who built YouTube though. And it would be nice to have the high ups at YouTube recognizing the people who did and helping them continue to make the platform great. YouTube seems like it's on a suicide mission, like a lot of great things these days though. And that's fine. If they don't want us, there's plenty of appetite for this sort of content. We will take it somewhere else. It's not going anywhere. There's plenty of people. I love making this stuff. I also love watching this stuff. Yeah. I'm never going back to watching cable news. All the stuff I like to watch is on YouTube. So I'm never going back, including, by the way, to get back to the gun theme, gun content. I mean, that's how I learned about all this stuff. And that's how I got persuaded about all this stuff, was making that effort to listen to these guys who know what they're talking about. And it's not, like, product reviews were helpful in me buying stuff. Instructionals on how to put together an AR. That's how I learned how to do it. It was on full 30 because it's banned on YouTube.
Yeah, you can't. Now.
Yeah, you can't. But that's the point. Independent video creators. Even like you mentioned TGC back when they had the legal breakdowns with Adam
Crow.
A lot of law concepts were explained to me in that way. Like, that's how I learned about this stuff, and that's how people learn about a lot of things. They're never going back.
I learned about a lot of it too, and that's what I try to do on this channel a lot. For example, I was telling the people just before you came on, I went out to the farm yesterday. I had 2 newbie type shooters, right? 2 young ladies. They had like barely kind of sort of shot. Started off with showing them how to hold the pistol, had them actually functioning it, using it, and then shooting like dead center on the steel target within an hour. And I'm going to be posting a series of videos soon here.
Isn't that the best? That's the best feel, and I go back to the guys, like a lot of guys in my audience persuaded me on guns over time too. And they brought me from common sensor to like repeal the NFA now type perspective. So that's, I always go back to them whenever I'm able to share that. Now that I'm in position to share that with other people and sort of pass it and pay it forward and make recommendations about, hey, if you want to get into guns, here's some things to think about, and help people out the way that they helped me out a few years ago. It's the best, man. I love when someone you've been talking to sort of gets that itch, gets that passion, and you know that person is now a 2A guy.
Yep.
And the likelihood of him ever going back to common sensor is almost nil. Because once it's just like everything else. Once, I hate to use the red pill cliche, but once your eyes have been opened in this arena, I've never heard of anybody going back the other way.
I really haven't either. And that's kind of where I am at. I mean, look at here. I could put up a green screen if I wanted. I'm in my landscaping shop. It's messy. I like it. I keep it that way.
Yeah.
And basically, I'm just a regular dude. Like, I'm the type of guy that around town, I'm teaching people how to shoot. I'm hanging out. Here's the problem. I live in such a small town with a couple thousand people. I felt like going out onto YouTube so I could maybe help thousands of people. And,
yeah. Yeah, and that's what's so fantastic about YouTube too. You don't have to. The way that it has removed the gates from the gatekeepers of information and made it possible for you in a small town in Michigan to connect with me out in Montana and talk about this sort of stuff. 15, 20 years ago, that was not a thing. That this just did not exist. And I hate when people don't understand why people like their product. YouTube does. It's like when Xbox started cutting back on trash talking on the Xbox. It's like, no, that's why people play Xbox, man. It's to talk shit to other people.
Well, yeah, that's the whole purpose.
Yeah, YouTube starts cutting back on independent creators, and no, that's the whole point. That's why people are there. You got sports boycotting for this shooting or whatever. No, people tune in to watch you put the ball in the hoop and throw the ball and catch the ball. They don't care about your politics. Understand why people come to you.
Yeah,
it drives me crazy. And people always say, well, are you saying LeBron James can't have a political opinion? Yeah, of course he can. It's his right. The point is, if I converted our show to do like football breakdowns every Sunday, guess who's not watching anymore? Probably you.
I'm not going to watch.
Yeah,
Ron's not going to watch.
No, she wouldn't watch, and that's the key. It's like you got to understand why people consume the product that you make.
Yeah.
And we just don't have that right now.
Well, it comes down to 3 letters that Susan doesn't realize. YOU. You is like you, me, you all in the chat. That's like who you is.
Yeah.
It's not Corp Tube, CORP Tube. Like, I don't know where she lost that memo.
What I wouldn't give to have Susan go on Rogan's show or Dave Rubin's show or any long form show with a legitimate independent creator, someone who has risen on YouTube through their own merit.
Yeah.
And just hear her. I just want to hear her talk unedited for like an hour and try to explain some of this stuff. But that's the irony. It's like she reigns over this whole thing, but she won't even appear on the shows that are like the biggest deal on her entire platform.
No, the few times she has been interviewed, it's been on like CBS Nationwide News.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
And that
okay.
one was so bad. You remember that one? Because the CBS reporter lady was like, why haven't you censored more? That was basically her question.
I heard that. I'm like, no, I already can't touch guns. And I'm a gun channel in my stream.
Yeah.
No more. Right?
Yeah.
No, she should do that. I'd like to actually see Tim cast, Tim Pool have her on.
He'd be great too. Tim did a great job with Jack and Vajayjay at Twitter. Whatever her name is. We just call her Vajayjay because it's something like that.
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he still professes to be a liberal today. So actually it'd be great to
but Steven Crowder armed him. That was good to see.
Yes, it was.
And I haven't watched yet, but I saw him post the other day saying that he is voting Trump, which that I'm somewhat surprised by that. So,
yes, he is. And my wife's been listening to a lot of his stuff, and she's kind of got me watching him a little more lately. And because even him a couple of years ago, I was kind of like, whatever, dude. But now I think he completely gets it now. It's pretty cool.
Well, and I think, agree with him or not, I think Tim Pool is pretty broadly representative of a gigantic segment of America.
Yeah.
That is sort of like I think that Tim's perspective is kind of like, in a lot of ways it mirrors the way my own developed, but I think that maybe he's not, I don't want to say behind as though he's like, that implies that I'm leading him or something. I just mean, I think he's on the same trajectory.
Yeah.
But like 2 years back from where I am now. Like give Tim Pool 2 more years, he'll be talking about repealing the NFA.
No, I totally get it, dude.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's a perfect analogy. Yeah. That's kind of what I was trying to say about me and you. I bought my first gun in 94. Did you have guns in 94?
No, absolutely not.
So that's the correlation. You know what I'm saying? I've been into guns longer, and that's why I was like, I don't want to call you a noob. I know you've been around it quite a while, but
grand scheme, no. Yeah, I mean, like we're talking, I'm 33 or about to turn 33 in October, and I've been seriously into this since I was 30. So we're talking 3 years time, and that 10% of my life. Prior to that, like, I mean, I've never been as rabid as these people are now, where they think that they can confiscate people's weapons. I've never been in favor of like, let's go take everyone's AR and AK. I used to believe like, well, they're dangerous and let's make it harder for dangerous people to get them. That was kind of my thinking until you realize like, well, I mean, how much more are we going to do? You already have your background checks. You already like, what do you want short of like thinking you can ban the product itself, which is just untenable. So I was never fully insane. I just wasn't as interested as I am now.
And here's something I think that's common sense. I say it a lot. Good people generally don't need laws, and criminals by definition don't follow laws. And that's where the common sense thing kind of starts to fall apart pretty quick, right?
Yeah, and I hate again. It's politically opportunistic framing. Common sense is the way that it's described, so that you hesitate to oppose it. It's like naming something the Patriot Act. You don't want to oppose something that sounds nice.
The Patriot Act.
But common sense. Nothing about anything Joe Biden is saying in terms of like a mandatory buyback is common sense. First of all, it's not your property. You don't get to seize other people. There's nothing common sense about theft. Okay, like the way that their insane ideas are just labeled that as though it's self-evidently true. No, but that's the way a lot of this stuff works. Just give it an appealing political name so that people hesitate to oppose it, and then it becomes a little more difficult to argue. And more than any issue, I don't like to frame political issues as like people who understand it versus people who don't. But Steven Crowder has said this about guns, and I think it's right. And I'll offer my own evolution and perspective as evidence. The people who are adamantly against guns and pro-gun control, generally speaking, have very little knowledge of firearms or the law. Like if you actually quiz them, they don't know how guns work. They don't know what guns are. They have no idea. Like, not to mention, they have no idea what the existing federal or state law is on the matter. They just think guns bad, should be illegal. That's it.
So, for example, they still believe fallacies like the gun show loophole.
Yes.
Yeah. And Crowder's done a good job exposing a lot of that.
I don't go to too many gun shows, but I checked one out in town like last spring just because there was one in town. It ended up being a total FUD show, so I was very bored because it was, just a bunch of old guys with really boring rifles in there. But I just wanted to go in there and troll and ask for like the gun show exception. Can I please purchase this rifle through the gun show loophole? Will you allow me to do that? But I ended up not.
Dude, they'll like want to beat you up for even asking that half the time. That's not. I'd like to thank Tim Rudier for the super chat. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, so you've been on about a half hour. I know you're a busy man. Do you want to kind of wrap it up, or did you want to go a couple more minutes?
I got maybe like 5 more minutes if you want, but it's your show. I defer to whatever your needs are.
No, I'm happy to have you here. It's kind of like I feel like I'm talking to an old friend because it's gone by so fast. I look down and it's 9:30.
That's a good sign when the conversation's easy. Yeah,
it was cool, man. So real quick here, I had it in the title, and here's what's going on. And this is what really sucks right now. So we have the chaos in the streets, quite literally. Mm-hmm. And people are realizing they need to protect themselves now. Mm-hmm. And we have something going on where people are buying record numbers of guns and ammo. And people can't get ammo. There's a huge ammo shortage.
Yeah.
So you're finding it being sold for like double price, even triple price. And I'll tell you real quick my context, and I really want your opinion. Okay, so there's a fine line here. If a guy sells the ammo at the old price, like March 13th or older, but he's only going to get one shipment in today, and he sells all of it today, how does he pay the light bill and pay his employees the next 29 days? The local gun shop. But what if he's taking that $13 a box, and now he's charging you, I'm just going to make up a gross number, $100 a box? Then we might say he's taking advantage of people. So have you thought about this concept? Like, where's this fine line that we have to keep our local gun shops in business, paying a little more because they're going to sell out, they can't reorder, versus they're gouging us? Have you thought about
I generally don't necessarily believe in the concept of gouging too much. I think that prices are a function of supply and demand. Unfortunately, right now, we are in massive demand, obviously, and potentially short supply. But the point is, if you don't want to pay $100 for 20 rounds of whatever, I don't know, it's shopping for 300 blackout because I can't find any. That and 9mm, obviously. I was trying to find some on Saturday, and the best I could find, I did find some subs for like $1 a round, but I passed. I was like, oh.
You need to sub to my channel, dude. I just did an on-the-spot live stream where AIM Surplus had 300 blackout really cheap, and I blasted it, so I can help you.
Well, that's the thing is I just need like an emergency supply. That's the one that I'm missing that I'd love to have. But that's the point. Like, I went to that store and their price was like right on the border of what I would consider reasonable. And so what did I do? So nope, not reasonable. I'm going to pass on this. Yeah. And that's as soon as more people start passing, if the price is too high, guess what? The price will drop. That's how this all functions. I just don't buy into the concept of gouging too much. You are always at liberty to reject the price that is presented to you, and you should if you think that it's too high. The other, I know that this is at some level a necessity. Like, it's crazy times. You want to have it. Let's say you have none, and you want to have at least an emergency supply in case things keep getting worse. I understand that that's a tough spot to be in. So I would encourage people who are in that spot to shop around. Ammunition can still be had. Just be patient and diligent. You can find it. Yeah. And the other thing I would say is remember this whole episode between coronavirus and the riots and all of this. Once things return to normal, and hopefully they will, buy a supply over time. Even if it's just going to the store and buying a box of 9mm every time you go there, like once a month or something. Just always have a supply, whether it's food, whether it's ammunition. We used to call these people crazy preppers and stuff. No, it's called self-reliance. Yeah. And hopefully we can get through this episode between the virus and the riots and realize that self-reliance is a good thing and not put ourselves in this position where we're panic buying everything and driving up the price. Then it's a non-issue next time around. So I know, people who don't like that answer. I know there's a lot of people who are in the spot of like, well, listen, that's easy to say when your ammo supply is stocked and mine isn't. Correct. I understand that's not a good spot to be in, but let's be patient. Let's learn the lessons, and let's be good too to our neighborhood gun shops, because I think by and large, those are just guys looking to feed their families too. I don't think there's a lot of people out there thinking, how can I screw over my community by jacking up ammunition prices through the roof? I just don't think that's going on too much.
No, I agree. And I wanted your perspective, and ours is actually very similar. But my guys that hang out here, guys and lovely, beautiful ladies that hang out here. I've been saying guys too much. There's a lot of hot chicks that hang out here too. But yeah, I kind of have the same view as you, but there's so many people, like almost overwhelmingly, certain types of people in the comments, they just want to pound it home and say, I'm getting gouged, I'm getting ripped off. And I wonder if these are maybe some people just kind of getting into guns, but they're maybe don't like capitalism, or it gets complicated, but I kind of agree with what you're saying. I really do.
Yeah, I'm just hoping we'll get all this resolved, man. I'm tired of all of the chaos and the nonsense right now. Thankfully for me, I bought a whole bunch of 22 right when this was all breaking out, so I could still go to the range and have 22 fun. Other than that, I'm screwed. I haven't spent any of my actual defense viable. Yeah, exactly. That's the same stuff I use. I got 5,000 rounds.
I have the 5,000 too. 10 of these, and it was cheap.
I got it for like $200 or something back in like February, March. So at least I can still have fun at the range for the time being.
Oh yeah.
I haven't today. Actually, I went shooting earlier today just to check the zero on some rifles again, because let's make sure they're accurate.
The Kung Flu and got 6.
Right. So I went out and I think I shot like 25.56 rounds. I was like, all right, cool. These are good. I'm not going to waste any more ammunition. I haven't shot 9mm in I don't know how long, like this entire yeyear.
So you're saying you took gold bullion and you just chucked it at like thousands of foot per second? And
basically, it's like, all right, that's my like 20 rounds for the year. Yeah, and the rest is going to be saved for a while, and I'll shoot 22 in the meantime.
And one more real quick thing, and we're going to say goodbye here. Your ammo sponsor that I hear you shout out, that's a friend of your channel. Mm-hmm. They're like 3 or 4 miles like that way down the road from me. We're practically neighbors. I don't know if you knew that.
I don't know if Justin at Phoenix actually has a storefront.
Okay.
But I would say if I don't know, there's a possibility you guys could cooperate or collaborate. Justin's a really
cool that they're in, that they advertise.
Novi.
That's Novi. Yeah. I'm in New Hudson, and it's like one freeway exit down.
I'm just saying you should become his friend because he's a really cool dude. And if things get crazy, he's a good guy to have a friendship with. And you can maybe even whisper in his ear, like whenever he gets pistol caliber primers in again, maybe he can, float some your way. I've been talking to him like, listen, man, you find any ammunition between the couch cushions? Yeah, I'm your guy. So he's another example. Like the availability of his ammunition is very little. And he's doing the best he can. I don't think he's trying to screw anybody over. I think he's operating in a world where the supplies he needs are incredibly scarce right now because everyone's trying to buy them up. But yes, I definitely if you're making content and he's a big YouTube consumer, I would definitely encourage you. I think his email is public on his website. If not, email me, and I'm sure he won't mind if I connect you guys. But he's just a good guy to.
Yeah, he's basically a
get to know.
Yeah, I like local businesses, and if you want to meet a great holster guy in Michigan, my friend Forge Tech, he's right here in Michigan.
Oh, sweet
holsters. So
Justin had some great memes until Facebook and Instagram banned the Phoenix Ammo account. Now it's not even allowed anymore. Yeah, his account was like half ammo promotion, half memes, and they banned it for the memes.
Well, we're all going to be banned soon. So look, you're like 10 times more popular than me on here, but please tell everyone how to connect to you in case there's people that want to follow your stuff.
Yeah, if you're new to my channel, check out my website. It's mattchristiansenmedia.com. You can find everything that I do over there. So but if you're brand new, I do a weekly podcast with my co-host Blonde every Sunday night. We're doing a long form live show, just talking about the news of the week and whatever's going on. And then I post 2 shorter solo videos every week that are more of a concise breakdown of a specific topic. So if you're interested in checking out what I do, again, that's mattchristiansenmedia.com. My name is, I guess it's on the screen, right? It's long and it's hard to spell, but it's Christian like the religion, SEN.
And the link to your YouTube channel is down in the description of this video to help people. And I just started following you on Twitter. I just started my account a week ago, and I think it's ML Christiansen.
Yes, yeah, at ML Christiansen. But I don't know, man. Like I've always enjoyed Twitter,
Yeah,
even though I hate the people who run it. I enjoy what it is as a communication platform.
yeah.
But all my stuff is suppressed over there too. Like I'll just post, promote. I mostly just promote my videos on Twitter, but even that is hidden from people as sensitive content. And I mean, I'm not that spicy of a guy. Like I'm not. I can't
Your
believe that.
co-host is the spicy one
Well,
every show defensively, Susan.
Yeah, she brings the spice. That's not my game. I'm not. That's not who I am. But Jack won't even let me show videos of me talking without hiding them behind a barrier.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he also Dangerous Spaces. He also does calling for people that want to chat on Wednesday nights. Yes.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, we do a call-in show on Wednesday nights as well for a couple hours with our audience talking about whatever they want to talk about.
Yeah, and don't forget to smash the like button, guys. Thank you, Linda. And yeah, man, thanks for coming on. And for all my viewers out there, I think Matt's a really good dude. I kind of was introduced to him digitally through John Patton, and I'm glad you just think that you randomly came on to that show a year ago. And now you're like in the top 3 or 4 probably of my favorite channels I watch. So
that's high praise, man. I appreciate that, and I'll be checking out your channel as well. And I know you haven't been at this very long, have you?
no, maybe just a little over a year and a half now.
You're doing, man, for YouTube's environment now. You're doing pretty well. So congratulations on the channel. It's not easy to build a channel in this environment, dude. It's really, really rough.
Thank you, and I appreciate it. I remember sending you a chat, and I'm like, dude, when my channel gets a little bigger, will you come on? And you're like, dude, I'll come on right now. So that was nice
yeah.
of you.
Well, yeah, I do pride myself on being available, certainly to our audience as much as possible. And
yeah,
I've noticed that a lot of YouTubers are like ungettable. Like they're very hard to talk to, and or at least get their attention. So I pride myself on trying to make myself available in that way. So thanks for reaching out.
I appreciate it, and I definitely recommend everyone go over there and check out his shows and his videos. Awesome channel. So I appreciate it, Matt.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good night.
All right, take it easy, man. All right, well, that was fun, guys. I really enjoyed that. It's not every day that you get to have like one of your favorite channels on your live stream, so that was cool. So hopefully you guys enjoyed having him on, enjoyed some of his perspective. He really does put on a great show. The call-in show's cool. I like it. My favorite's the Sunday night show. There's just something about it. Him and his co-hosts, they're just a really good team, and I think you guys should at least check it out once or twice, and you'll probably be back if I had to guess. All right, so I'm going to catch up on the chat just for a minute. If I missed a super chat, I'm so sorry. Type it again, guys. I was kind of, I don't have guests all the time, so I was kind of just focusing on that a little bit, and I'm not a professional YouTuber is what I'm trying to say. Dangerous Spaces. Wait, you guys don't want multimillionaire athletes lecture you? Yeah, that's basically what Matt was saying, and I thoroughly, completely agree. I appreciate your help, VA Wolf. What's happening, man? Yeah, so here's where we're at, guys. Basically, I wish you guys well with the ammo shortage. It's a real thing, but I don't mean to try to propagate it. I'm not trying to get anybody scared. I'm just saying, realize what you're in, what's going on with it, and use a little bit of strategy. Maybe it involves, you got to do a little recon, right? All you military vets out there, you guys know what I'm saying? It's called a recon mission. You guys go out there, and you've got to check your stores. Sometimes maybe the local Dunham's gets their truck at 8 in the morning on Tuesday, right? Dick's, you probably shouldn't be shopping there because they're anti-gun. But your local gun shop, they might get their ammo in at 9 in the morning on a Wednesday. Federal on their website might get it in at 3:30 a.m. Eastern time. So use a little strategy. Try not to get gouged. Just keep in mind, your local gun shop might be selling all their ammo in one day, and they have to stretch that profit to make payroll and ends meet for the rest of the month. So I don't want to see anybody get ripped off, but I do think at the same time, we should be a little understanding with each other with all this, because we're really all we have. I really liked having Matt on here because he has a lot of perspective with Susan and these algorithms, and they are making it hard to succeed, guys. I still have a very small channel, but just to get it to where it is now, I've been working hard, 4 or 5 videos a week, and they really don't want us on here. But that's why we need to have each other's back, and you all in the community letting each other know about where the ammo deal is. who's got the Taurus G3C in stock. Like, I don't have time to respond to everything, guys, but I see a lot of it. People in my Facebook group letting each other know, hey, look, they just got the G3C, which, by the way, those gals that we were out doing some shooting with yesterday, they love the G3C. Like, I'm pretty much almost convinced that that's like the gun that you just like hand someone that's get into shooting and they're like, dude, this feels awesome. So I'm definitely going to have more on the G3C. You guys are going to see some kind of newbie impressions of it and stuff like that. So I look forward to that. I can't completely spill the beans because no one will watch it, but the Taurus gun that takes this magazine that you guys have been bugging me about, I'm going to have an initial unboxing and review of that. That's coming soon, along with some of my friends shooting it. Michael Fultz with the super chat. Thanks, man. He said, good show. I appreciate it. VA Wolf, congrats on being a host to another host. Yeah, exactly. One that probably shares a lot of views in common with me, but he's going to have his own unique perspective on things, and that's why I wanted to have him on. So Tim Reuter says, I don't see you popping up in my feed anymore. See, sometimes you have to play the games, guys, of ringing the bell, unringing the bell. I don't know. I always try to keep this family friendly. I try to be a good person. That's not to kiss Susan's butt. That's just how I am. But sometimes that's not enough. And it seems that they really, really are trying to censor, shadow ban. They call it many things and make it hard for a firearms or conservative channel or all these different ones that they've deemed to be not exactly like them. They make it hard to succeed. So, yeah. But the main thing is, and I'm going to keep doing this channel as long as it's fun or until I guess Susan says I'm no longer welcome here. But as long as I'm still having fun, as long as I'm still seeing good people, real people like you guys, and thanks, Jay Geo. Exactly. Good content. Thanks, man. You know, as long as there's still good people and I'm still getting the feedback that there's some other people out there that have my back and have each other's back, we'll keep doing this as long as we can because it's just about trying to have some fun. And it's not nice when they shadow ban, but hey, if they shadow ban this video, maybe they won't the next one, and we can still get the information out there and try to get more good people armed and more good people that are comfortable and safe with protecting their families because they're realizing it right now. They need it. They need to protect themselves. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I do a Friday stream. I'm going to come on tomorrow for probably just about an hour or so. We've been on a little bit over an hour tonight. I know it's a work night. All you little boys and girls need to go to school in the morning. I get it. So I'm just going to say bye to a couple people that just popped in here. My friend Rick Nieper's in here. Also been guest on the show. He's a fan favorite here. How's it going, man? We've got Geico 1975, Pillbox Bunker, Guero M. We've got Tom Counts. Thank you, sir. We've got Ryan Simmons. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, the 1911, the SDSs. Those are nice. I like the 9 and the 45. Yeah. Afuna says YouTube. Yep. Cali Love BS will demonetize most of your content, so you have to get other stuff set up. Yep. And I know a lot of you guys like the stickers. Real quick with the stickers, guys. I don't necessarily have them for sale. I have these made for thanks to my Patreon supporters that have been patiently supporting me for a lot of you guys over a year. I said just consider it a donation. Don't really expect anything back because what I'm giving you guys back is the content of the channel. I don't have gun sponsors, guys. People don't send guns to me. They don't send ammo to me. So if you're wondering why there's lots of new guns, it's because I'm working my butt off, doing landscaping, my real job to support myself. And then any money I get in from Susan's Crumbs and likewise, put back into the channel. So that's just me with you guys' help buying the guns. These were just a thank you to my patrons. So as of right now, if you're a Patreon supporter, you've either got one of these or you're going to. The only reason is that's how I have your address. If you guys have left me super chats, okay? And it's just an honor system thing. I know you guys aren't greedy. I can't afford to send 20,000 of these out, guys. I'm really not wealthy, but I'm going to throw my email in here. If you've been helping the channel with some super chat or another way, send me an email. I'll send you guys out as a couple stickers. Just kind of my thanks to people that, you know, help me a little bit financially because that's what's actually supporting this show. Definitely not Susan like people would think. Let me get this out here. It's glockshooter79@gmail.com. And that's just for one of you, you know, that, hey, I just left you a $5 super chat. I wouldn't mind a sticker. But maybe coming here this winter when my landscape business slows down, Like, I'm not trying to make a big deal of myself, but people like the hat. People have been mentioning shirt. They've been mentioning stickers. Maybe I'll get a small little merch store going somehow, okay? So I would definitely appreciate that. Humphrey Fry Dog just became a Patreon today. I appreciate it, man. White Rat, Susan's Crumbs is an excellent way to refer to the ad program. Yeah, and I mention it that way just to be real with you guys. I know some other content creators, non-conservative, non-firearms channel, they'll literally get paid double, triple, quadruple. And I'm not going to discuss my details. I had to sign a license agreement with YouTube not to disclose, and I'm not gonna, but I'll just say other types of content that they like more, they'll pay like 2, 3, 4, even more times per view, per click than they will this type of channel. So I'm trying to accurately portray it when I say crumbs. So Rudy Fenney, thanks a lot for the super chat, man. I appreciate you, dude. Good old Michigan guy again in the house. No, you guys are all good regardless of where you're from, but I just have to give my Michigan guys the most props. All right, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Don't miss me too much. It's going to be less than 24 hours. I appreciate all the kind words, and I hope you guys enjoyed the show with Matt. Miguel Booth said, what a nice surprise to see Matt Christiansen on with you. He's super cool and smart, and I'm going to leave on that note. He is super cool and smart, and yeah, I really liked having him on, so look forward to more guests here in the future. And I will be on tomorrow night. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.